I'm gonna see how I'm holding the test tube up pretty high because the wire's gonna get hot. So I'm gonna go ahead and get some stuff coming, get a good roll, get a good boil coming out of it, and see if I can ignite those vapors. And I'm gonna keep the heat up near the top of the solid. And you only need about a ½ inch or so. We had a little over an inch of product in here. That's more than we really needed. So I blew all.
Yeah. Thanks, appreciate it, guys. Thanks for
Well, you were hiding behind
You pushed him in front of him.
And I went, did I do this?
I heard the loudest no from right here.
He's hiding behind us all right now.
You hear? There was barely any liquid in there at all. It was just vapor. So compare the volume of acetone it took to make that happen versus what might happen inside of a superchucker truck. Or a storage container,
Phoenix, that tower.
correct? Inside of a tank, inside of a vault, inside of a pit. Takes very, very little liquid to create an explosive atmosphere. And what we're measuring in here is what's called the LEL, or the lower explosive limit. And you got combustion byproducts are mostly water. They do liquids burn, but solids can burn as well. So here's powdered sugar. What do you think will happen based on your experience? You just try to light some powdered sugar on it. Burn, get tarry. But if we atomize it, increase the surface area, we get it to burn a little bit. Okay? That's good, but we can do better. Cornstarch works a little bit better. Who needs to do that? There's plenty. So the trick is to get it down low near the tip. And we get it right about there. My kids did a color run. Anybody ever done a color run? Yeah. And they're like, what? And I said, oh yeah, Dad, we need money. We're going to do a color run. And I didn't know what it was. So what do you do? Well, we wear white t-shirts and white stuff. And then we show up and we get all of our pictures taken together. And then we run down the street and they throw colored packets of powder on us. And then we take pictures of ourselves again. And they pay for this. It costs money. And I thought, well, I wonder what the heck that is. So I had to look it up. And my first thought was, what's going in the storm drain of the city? And it's colored cornstarch with food grade colored dye. Whatever that means. And so I thought about that. Okay, well, just don't smoke while you're doing it. They don't smoke, so it's not an issue. But I thought about this not too long ago because we were downtown Redmond. My wife and I were walking through, and the Holy Festival, the HOLI Festival, was going on. And at one point, hundreds of people are throwing up bags of colored powder in the air, and they're all getting covered with it. And it's a festival, and that's what it is. It's cornstarch.
Increased chemical reactions.
They speed up chemical reactions. So what we're going to do is I'm going to burn some plastic tubing. Plastic tubing is just made of petroleum products. And you need to stay out of this smoke. I don't know which way it's going to go.
Usually that's on a cancer patient or a cigarette patient, and they're
Exactly.
smoking through their stoma.
Not very exciting. So Norm, could you come over here and grab the cylinder and set that down? So Will's going to give me about 4 to 6 liters of oxygen through the hose. Okay. So Brian, you were saying?
Yeah. Turned off.
Yeah, that's on their face while they're sucking down a cigarette.
Frequently tend to rise. Everything else will hang around with air or tend to sink. Those 4 gases in the real world at normal temperature, normal pressure, are hydrogen, helium, natural gas, which is a primary component, which methane is the primary component, and pure, dry, anhydrous ammonia. They will tend to rise. Now ammonia, if it gets released out of the ammonia tank over here at Uniseed, it's going to come out under pressure. It's going to dump out very quickly. It's going to auto-refrigerate and tend to hug the ground. And particularly on a day like today, it's really going to get driven by the moisture. So it'll tend to hug the ground. But as it warms up the background temperature, it'll tend to start to rise. So ammonia, we got to keep in mind that the temperature of it and the moisture is really going to drive it a lot of ways. So, but everything else will either tend to hug the ground or kind of stay low or stay about with normal air. One of those things that goes down is propane. So what we're going to do is I'm going to generate some propane bubbles. Will is going to light them on fire. Here we go. got stories. Carbon dioxide. Water has oxygen dissolved in it. Good clean water for trout, salmon, needs a lot of oxygen dissolved. This has carbon dioxide. One way to get all the carbon dioxide out of here very, very quickly is to put something in there that'll cause it to form a whole bunch of bubbles. And blue Mentos in a tube do the job really well. They create what are called nucleation sites, so all the carbon dioxide wants to form very quickly into bubbles.
Go in. There we go. Aww.
Oh, that's